In today's episode of Book Club, we're going to be reviewing Do Not Say It's Not Your Country by Nnamdi Oguike. The book is a collection of 12 short stories written in different countries of Africa, usually in contexts which are working class. It's sort of a story which is focusing on the everyday person or the person who is not usually told about in stories, because stories usually focus on people who are from richer backgrounds or people who are middle class. So what did you guys think of the book? Freda?
I think you guys should start because you actually met the person and you met him. Tell us how you met him. And
Thank you for helping us, Pams. So, the book is a good book. Because, I mean, from the title says, Do Not Say It's Not Your Country. I think it's a way, we always talk about like the Pan-African story, the oneness of Africa. So it actually brings our similarities using 12 short stories into a book, and the title is perfect.
Going off what you said about our similarities, that was something I actually enjoyed about the book, how the use of language and how some things were familiar. Like, which story it was, I can't remember what story it was, but there was not even just one, various stories where he used like pidgin English that wasn't like our colloquial Nigerian pidgin English, but you could still tell that like this is the general idea, and that was one of my favorite things about the book.
Yeah, like in Kumba's story.
Yes.
It threw me off a bit because you have to say it to actually understand how it's pronounced. Because it's basically colloquial South African pidgin English. Yeah. So reading it for the first time, I was a bit like, what is this? And then you start saying it and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. It made me actually want to like learn that pidgin. Like, it made me interested in pidgin. Like, okay, this is a pidgin that I would actually like to learn.
I think the writer did well in introducing like the readers to a lot of aspects of other African cultures. Yeah. He did not ignore that in his writing. Use of language and food. I was just about to say food. Food, very important. So and plus like the culture, like how it works, they're describing like the houses where they live, like the streets, so you could visualize parts of Africa that you haven't been to. Also, one of the stories where I really felt the interconnectedness of our African continent was, I think, Prophet, when that was the one where they live on water, and he was describing Lagos Lagoon with Benin Republic and saying, this particular character speaks English, French, and Fon, which is like the local dialect in Benin Republic. So that was very like.
But did you think it was reflective of Benin Republic because you've lived there?
Well, not Benin Republic per se, because that part was closer to Lagos. It's like you said, it's the parts of our continent that are not really, the stories are not really told. So it's you find yourself wondering, wow, this, and I was really curious actually, like, did he do a lot of traveling? What was his?
He didn't actually travel.
That's It's amazing how his mind works, because from what he said, a lot of these stories, like, it's from people like he knows. So they'll live in this place and form their own tales of the place. That's how he got the inspiration to write these stories, and I feel it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think another thing I really enjoyed was just how simple the writing was. It made it easy to be able to jump from one story to another. As opposed to just having one book, because it's like 12 short stories, because the writing was so easy to just get into. It was just a breeze, really.
Yeah, I don't know. The simplicity of the books threw me off because I found it hard to get into, which sounds contradicting.
If it's here is a regular Einstein. She needs, nuances and.
No, I felt. I don't know. It
was just too simple for you.
A bit. No, but I don't know. Some people prefer certain styles. I guess I prefer more prose than it sounds as if someone is speaking to you in a
dialogue.
lot.
Yeah. I liked that though, because I felt like it would have been difficult to kind of just digest these stories, because there's so many, like, you're going from one country to another. So if it was so like packed, it would have been difficult to read, because it's like, okay, how do I wrap my mind around this story, unwrap it, and then rewrap it around another story? So it just made it flow.
Okay. How do you think this book, if you've read any other collection of short stories, how do you think this book compares to that other collections of short stories?
That's why I like this book, because I haven't read any other collection of short stories for the same reason I say I enjoyed this.
Okay.
It's like you finish a story and it's just, I don't really feel the other stories. It's like I'm still thinking about this one story because it puts you saturated.
There's a mourning period after reading a book.
But for me, this one was just, so this is probably, I think this is the only short story, except like Night Blights or any Blights in books. Is it Night Blights or any Blights?
Thinking about short stories I've read, some of the short stories I've read, when the writer writes this story, the next story is going to try to use a different approach of writing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
with this, it was one writer all through.
Yeah.
You
can
get
tell.
what I'm saying? You can tell it was him. It was, this is Nnamdi's style. So I don't know if someone, like a judge, I just noticed it. You know, with other short stories, okay, maybe this first short story, I'll take this approach, or this.
The writing styles.
The writing
kind of
styles. Yeah, they differ.
This just felt like one.
Yeah.
I get that.
Okay. Do you have a favorite short story from the book?
In Our Father's House.
Okay. How come?
That's the story where it's a family. It's like this husband and wife, and the wife, like, they just keep giving birth, and the father has a plan. So each child would do 3 years. You read the book, I'm telling you. Each child would read.
You're so
but our listeners have not read the book.
It was my favorite story. Each child has 3 years of schooling, and then once your 3 years are up, you relinquish your uniform, pass it to the next child, and they have their own 3 years. And the first boy really wants to be a doctor, and the father says, "No, why do you want to kill me?" Reading it, I was like, like, it just makes you think about our continent and how these are actually issues that are happening. You give a child a taste of education and then take it away from him because and you understand that, okay, the father has he understands that education is the key, but he's not educated enough to know that, okay, maybe he should stop giving birth to children he cannot take care of. And now the children are forced to question, why am I in this? Why are you fighting? Like, the father and son got into like a major fight where they were breaking things on each other's faces, and just because the boy wanted to go to school.
Yeah, and then
he even offered to have someone else like pay for his education. He said, "Why do you want to kill me? You want to bring shame upon this family?" You guys, I really just enjoyed it. And then my second favorite was Kumba's sister, because that was very sad.
Yeah.
And I like sad stories, so that was really sad.
I mean, I was a bit shocked when we found out it's not Bob. Yeah, so apparently
I was so angry. I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, you guys, I really enjoyed this book.
I feel you, like, it's all over you. My favorite thing about the book, I have to give him credit on how he explored family. In almost every story, there's like a strong family connection. Yeah. And family is very important to the African people.
But not just family, but also how he shows that your family can also be not your greatest source of support.
Sure.
Sure. Just he really enunciated the different ways that family is represented.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kudos to him, man. I really enjoyed this book. And
kudos to Nnamdi.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't want to read this book after watching this, then we're not doing our job right.
You should read the book, actually. You should.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Book Club, where we reviewed Do Not Say It's Not Your Country by Nnamdi Oguike.